what's going on YouTube? It's WK Dad here. I want to talk to you about the new Monarch deck. Um, Conventional wisdom says that the deck is best played without the extra deck and to use Domain as a floodgate. Now, I believe that back when Pepe was at full power, yeah, that might have been true. But I believe that at this time, maybe that's not so much the case. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but Monarch mirrors are very common. Cosmo is very popular, and water is very popular. So in that instance, that only leaves Pepe out of the 4, 5 decks that are really in contention. 4 to 5 decks that are in contention. There may be one I may have forgotten, but those are the main decks that swirl around the top spots in tournaments currently. And going forward, I think maybe you should consider running an extra deck. Now, this build that I have here is pretty much a standard Monarch build. There aren't a whole lot of differences, minus the fact I'm not running Majesties or Vanity's Fiend in the main. You could easily replace the instant fusions if you don't like that card in the main deck and run it that way. I have a single copy of it cited here, but I feel that with 3 of the 4 decks that are swirling around the top spots, that maybe this isn't such an issue, with Twin Twister being a card, with many of the Pepe variants running Solemn Strike, running Dark Hole and Regeki, and it's been widely accepted that March of Monarchs isn't exactly the best card, simply because it doesn't advance your game state. It's more of a defensive card, or a potentially defensive card, and again, it doesn't overall advance your game plan, or help. It doesn't help you to win. It might help you not to lose, but it doesn't help you to win. If you guys are following what I'm saying. So I'm just going to run down the deck list real quick. Got 2 Adia, 3 Aether, 1 Eidos, 3 Erebus, Ghost Trick Jack Frost, double Karaz, 1 Super Blue Layer, 2 Red Layer, Ghost Ogre, and then Monarch spells, 3 Pantheism, 3 Tenacity, 3 Stormforth, 2 of the Domain, it's highly searchable, 1 Return, searchable and recyclable, 3 Emergency Teleport, 3 Upstart, Foolish, double Instant Fusion, 3 The Prime. Side deck is largely irrelevant. However, I will explain that Kaiser Coliseum and the mirror match is nuts. It turns your opponent's Stormforth off, because under the current rulings, if you have a monster and Kaiser Coliseum, your opponent can't tribute your monster. So I figured that's a really cool interaction. And in the side, in the mirror match, I would normally side in double Kaiser, double Chaos Trap Hole, and double Veiler. So 6 cards for the mirror. I usually take out the instant fusions, the Jack Frost, and some of the I mess around with some of the other variables here, but depending on what I see, I float around with these 6 cards when I play against the mirror. Now for the extra deck: Black Rose, Omega, Star Eater, Trishula, Felgran, I'll say Heliopolis, Bulbasaurus, Durandal, Pleiades, Magna Liger, Shark Fortress, Norden, Panzer Dragon, two Panzer Dragon. This actually should be. Oh, I love DN. You can just change things on the fly. It should actually be a Gaia Charger. Oops. It should actually be a Gaia Charger because you need to be able to use Vocal Source and go into Gaia Charger. Now, you may ask, the one thing that sticks out is how do you make Pleiades? Well, these guys, as you can see, normal, light, level 5 monsters. So you can actually overlay two of these and go into Pleiades. And it does come up. Black Rose Dragon is Norden, retrieving Ghost Ogre. Without using your normal summon, you get a board wipe. I think that's really good. Almost too good to pass up. Omega is as simple as special summon Red Layer, emergency teleport, Ghost Ogre. You could also special summon Red Layer, emergency, or you can special summon Red Layer, instant fusion, Ghost Ogre, and if you have domain out, you contribute the Norden for one of the bigs, or even Curaz and pop himself in the field spell to get two draws. And I find that to be really cool interaction. So again, just to reemphasize that I'm not saying that this is the best idea, but I'm saying it's an option. I want to widely credit Glasgow Yu-Gi-Oh for really opening my eyes to it. I'd always considered it. I had previous build trying to incorporate an extra deck, but I got too fancy with putting too many cards that were driven toward the extra deck instead of using the extra deck as sort of an extension of the base build. And as you can see, this is pretty much the base build of Monarchs, which just happens to be able to go into the extra deck. And the only real cards that in the main deck that impact the side deck or have a direct relation to the extra deck are the double instant fusions. And it can also serve as tribute fodder because you can instant fusion Norden, maybe retrieve your Edia, tribute for big, and then you'll get to re-trigger Edia and retrieve a banished Monarch spell. So this is something to play around with. I invite you all to try the build. Maybe leave comments, come back to the video, leave comments about how it worked. Let me know something could change, or maybe you just want to tell me that no, this is just not the way to play the deck at all. Again, I believe that this is something to look into. I've seen numerous OCG builds running extra decks for that reason, because the meta game it's so diverse, and how good is domain if your monster on board gets dark hold, and how good is domain if they dragon pit or dragon pulse one of those guys, your domain, or this guy. So those are my thoughts. This is Dub K Dad, and I'm out.